The reasons for Abraham Lincoln's firing. Well, like I said, he was a model, and like I said, he was selling catalogs, or he would go and show catalogs and sell catalogs to people, basically or sell books that had him wearing the suit and the top hat and stuff like that, and he would take orders as well as basically um, uh, he would, if you wanted to buy that suit or buy the suit like he was wearing, you could basically blah blah, and then a suit would be shipped to you. And apparently he was taking the money for the suits, but he wasn't actually, and he's putting the orders, but the money for the suits wasn't actually getting back to the people making the suits, or wasn't getting back to whatever. He was just saying that it was his clothing line, and the clothes would be on the way, and this and that, and he would take people's money, but he wasn't, and then he would just spending that money. He wasn't actually giving that money back to the companies or something like that. I don't really know. You'd have to check on his receipts and all that other stuff. But he was going around, and he would sell the catalogs or whatever for like 5 cents or a penny or something like that to people, and then people could order it themselves, or he would take orders or something like that. And apparently there's some embezzling or something like that going on, and plus, like I said, there was also the women thing and all that other stuff. And basically, he was trying to say that he was president of the country, or president of the clothing line or something like that. And basically, like, he was just really just a model or a spokesman. And anyway, at some point in time, he decided it was easier to kill me, and then he could be president or leader or something like that. I don't really know, but it's like, that's just my vacation, dude. Anyway, it's just epic vacation ruin. That's all it was. First time I'd ever actually been human or something like that, or something. Yeah, whatever. Like I say, I don't really care. You can basically just understand your crazy existence or whatever. I don't, I just kind of dabbled or dipped, and, I had kind of like something to do with something, you know, and basically has to do with has more to do with my steamships and my steam trains and my aircraft and everything else, and the vast amounts of money and power and all that other stuff, and also involving the creation of lots of life form types and everything else and stuff like that. Like I said, people thought I wanted actually white people or something like that, and maybe I did want white people at one point in time, or whitish people, but later on I decided more of a cream color would be better, and or tan color. Um, some people would call it beige or something like that, but like this color kind of, you know, as you can see the veins and stuff like that with the white people. So, and like lots of people said, so you don't want the white people then? And it's like, no, I'll take the white people still. I mean, if they're already in existence and are already alive, then we'll just wait for them to live and die on their own or whatever, you know. So, and besides, like I say, white people are gorgeous and sexy too, and nice and pretty, and I love you too. I'm sorry, there's just a little misunderstanding or something or other. So, like I said, life forms and life form creation, all that stuff, Um, and, I understand that many life forms in existence could easily create whatever for me as I was their creator. So, but, getting through all the misunderstandings and this and that, and stuff like that. And, well, most people would just think of you as like something that was like flesh or whatever else like that. I like to try and think of you as more. And it's like, well, yes, you're an animal and a biological life form, and I was not biological and blah blah blah, but that doesn't mean I don't care about you and all that other stuff. And that didn't mean that I don't want you treated the right way. It's like, of course, snuggles and hugs and loves and warm happy fires and Christmas Day presents and everything else like that, and bedtime stories for little girls and boys and everything else. I mean, I felt like love was a better way of doing things than cold, factual, whatever. I'm the person of feelings, or, yeah, I don't really know. I think I invented feelings, and I thought feelings were the way to go, and emotions and all that, and something, something. And it gets all complicated as I am basically human now and not really what I used to be. So, and like I said, at some point in time in existence, I decided that my life forms would be my guide, because I realized or rationalized the fact that I probably didn't feel and didn't understand emotions or whatever. And so I had females or people with me that would feel for me or correct me when I was wrong. and these were trusted people that I really cared about, and they cared about me or something like that, and they were guiding me. You know, so it gets all complicated and possible paradoxical situations and all that other stuff, and I don't really know anymore. I'm just a Brian now, and just ex Lucifer Starline basically. And I will probably die in 40 years and probably be mauled over by all these other psychopaths, you know, in the end, as I was. I was mauled quite a bit, you know, like I say. Over the hundreds of trillions or billions of years of my life, my existence had touched on several different people that very much didn't like me, like Papa. Burn it down a plague upon the world. He was really full of himself when he was 20 or 15, and he was gonna come after me, and he was gonna kill my people and do this and do that. And like I said, over the years, as he got older and older and older and older and older, he became a plague about this world. A plague. you know, and you know, and maybe you'd almost feel sorry for him if you could see his total existence. But he had sex with a lot of women. He did this. He did that. He was a real, whatever. I don't know. He was a nasty, horrible person and did a lot of really bad things and would just like jab you real quick, you know, just to even look at you. Like some people decided that the only way that they could get forward is if they just produced like this really hard psychotic edge that would move people out of the way or something like that or whatever. And it really just got them in trouble, as no one really liked them, and you know, and later on in life, you know, as they got older and they found themselves, you know, in need of help or whatever, you know, nobody was going to help them. Nobody cared for them, and nobody liked them. So, anyway, like I say, I don't really know. I really don't care. My only knowledge of Papa or whoever was basically what he was doing in Warsaw, and he vowed to get back at Warsaw or something like that. So I guess eventually he bombed it or something, or found a way to get it carpet bombed. So anyway, I guess he got his whatever. Yeah, a lot of bad things happened, but I didn't really have much to do with any of them. So, that was more between some black people that were trying to kill a bunch of Irish workers or a bunch of workers and some other people. So, but I took the blame, and like I say, when what's his name was looking for someone hired to blame or whatever else like that, I told Iris to just say it was my fault. I did it. I told him to do it. Because of the fact that, I mean, they brought it to my attention, and I said, yeah, kick him out. So by my authority. So, and there were 3 other towns or 4 other towns that also wanted to kick him out, and probably 2 other towns that did eventually kick him out because he was a problem for them too. So anyway, as what's his name went around being nasty and horrible and all that other stuff, lots of different groups realized he was horrible until we just basically put it out there that basically there's this nasty, horrible person around there, and basically let him enter your civilization or your city at your own risk. Because that's all he does is basically burn it down, tear it down, a plague upon the world. And basically his lot in life was to basically shoot people and kill people and take what they had and then spend it or whatever. So, I don't know, levels of existence, I don't know. Abraham Lincoln, who did work for me and did hold still for quite a long time and blah, 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 and did sell whatever, and maybe it was, I don't know. I'd say I don't really know. There are lots of people spelunking around my Pentagon, spelunking around my archives, and spelunking around my planet, and doing this and doing that. And they would uncover things and find out things, and, and oh well. So I don't really know. It's like, what am I supposed to do about it? I had a huge existence. I had a colony ship. I had great white fleets and great white ships, and a white house, and a house that was made of white stone, and DC building that was made of white stone, and a Fort Knox or whatever, or basically a big stone white house, another big stone white house, a couple of them. So anyway, and even a winter palace that was an old train station that was converted. So Anyway, it's like, oh, yeah, and I had to pay to have it restored and fixed after it burned down. So I went through and they shot it up and they burned it and stuff like that and destroyed it, and I had it renovated and fixed and made into a palace or made into something nice. So, and plus people would go and see it and blah 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 blah. And it was even a school at one point in time, I think. So anyway, I don't know. In the hundreds of trillions of lifetimes and lives, it's like, I don't know. A lot of people were here. A lot of people will be here on this planet. It's like, And only about 2/3 or a third of those people will be like, he's crazy, he's crazy, he's crazy. Losing Starlight is crazy. It's like, which is not much different than saying Brian Briley is crazy. Like, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Really? I mean, I guess I'm, at least I'm not Dr. Richard Nixon with a degree in psychology and parapsychology and meteorological physics. See these squiggles? These indicate the yellers or whatever. The neurological disease that causes people to lock in position and yell. For up to 5 to 35 minutes. Although there have been some cases where they yelled for 45 minutes. He had a polygraph. Or some sort of... I think it was a polygraph test or polygraph sheet. I think he had a polygraph sheet. He was showing, see the squiggles on this. This indicates a neurological disease or whatever, capacity to whatever or something like that. And these people will migrate together and they will... I have no effing clue. He had a degree from one degree from Harvard and Yale and maybe Oxford or something like that. I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure who he had to bribe to get those pieces of paper, or even if he bribed anyone. He might have just printed out the pieces of paper. So anyway, but yeah, Dr. Richard Nixon was apparently a doctor with fake BS, like a BS degree, a bullshit degree, and in psychology, parapsychology, and meteorological physics, as the lights you see at night are space dust, varying particles at different distances from our planet surface, apparently. Oh no, they're not giant burning balls of gas and matter. Like I said, they're trying to say that the sun or the star was a gas giant that was on fire. It's like, well, it's actually a nuclear reaction of the molecules separating and then coming back together and stuff that happens. Like I said, very interesting things happen when you get up to 1,000,000 degrees and 2,000,000 degrees above whatever. When you get up into the really high heat levels, physics and stuff like that changes and stuff like that. And I was having them study it and stuff like that anyway. And at one point in time, I said, all the answers you seek are in that star and in the planets and stuff like that, and the particle reactions at some point in time. If you study the sun and understand how it works and why it works, and you study the planet and everything else, and these planets around here, you will understand particles and particle creation. I used to use my places in my old whatever as basically teaching things for higher level life forms. So, it's all teaching tools. So they could do stuff on their own and stuff like that. Like I said, even a higher life form or even a sentient computer, they go to school too, just like humans. Only their school is a little bit different than your school. So, so I used to teach lots of different life forms, including humans. So, whatever.